Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. It's a Sunday morning. I hope you had a wonderful evening yesterday and Saturday and you're recovering well. And as the day goes on, remember, we start all over again tomorrow and it's a Monday. So what did I want to talk about today? Well, there's a couple of things which I was thinking about in the morning and I thought I'll share that with you, which are like about the 10 things which I've been learning recently, which I thought which I could share with you. 10 lessons which I could say, which I've been picking on for the morning discussion with you. So first one is unforeseen opportunities. We all think in life, opportunities, we plan for them, it can happen. But most opportunities I've learned in my life so far seems to be quite random and quite bizarre the way they land upon you. For example, one of my friends recently, due to construction which is going on, like the metro construction and all that, lost a piece of property due to expansion and all that. And he was given a compensation. And that compensation seemed to be valued more than what he actually thought his piece of property was actually worth. So it got me thinking how in life we think, we work towards creating opportunities and we work towards creating, enabling things for doors for us to open. And actually some of the biggest doors that have opened in our life have been, completely random and unforeseen. So I want you to realize that most things in life can be unpredictable and opportunities can be unpredictable and we can have windfalls which are unpredictable, and we should have the resilience to adapt and move with this. Yes, initially it might look like, oh no, something's gone wrong, but given a moment to think about it and wonder about it, we learn to realize, it's not so bad. That opportunity has turned out to be something good, and we might finally have a windfall at the end of it without even realizing that it was there. So not all bad things necessarily turn out to be bad. You can turn it around and turn it into something more profitable and something good for yourself. Second thing which I thought I would share with you was this whole concept of banking and how banking is such a mirage, that this 2023 banking crisis has revealed anything, that these so-called central banks seem to be just like a safety net for all our banks, that even if our banks are on the verge of collapse, these central banks seem to step inside and rescue them and ensure economic stability, unintentionally promoting recklessness among banks. If you keep on giving someone the liberty to act poorly without no consequences, that enables them to behave badly. It's like a child. Being a parent, I realize this, that if my children don't have consequences for their actions and I keep on allowing them to be reckless, saying that it's okay, that I'm here, they will take it upon themselves to continue behaving recklessly and operate with confidence that they will always be bailed out by their parents. And central banks seems to be doing this repeatedly. And today's evening video, I'm going to talk more about that in greater length, about how central banks and governments, this constant bailout which is happening, and enables banks and other operators in the market to behave very poorly. And we need to do something about this, and we can't continue going on like this. Another thing I want to talk about is self-value. Most people, including me, we undervalue our own expertise and experiences in life. We constantly keep on thinking, our experiences and our value, whatever we have experienced, and our skill sets, we undervalue it and we don't think we're good enough. And we always keep thinking that someone else is better, someone else has more experience, has more skill sets. So we tend to settle for less than what we're actually worth. In all our offices and professional settings, we seem to be doing this, where we undercut ourselves, forget what society is doing, our offices are doing, our bosses are doing. We seem to fail to recognize our own true value, and we seem to take that lower compensation, take that lower career opportunity just because we feel we're not worth it. It seems to be permeating through our society, this thing, and I guess it's just the middle class mentality which we have, that we constantly think, no, we can't be good enough. We're not so lucky. We're not going to be able to do this. So I want you to try and shed that mindset. That is something also which was there on my list of discussions with you guys today. And another thing which I wanted to talk about was something called repetitive earning, which I was thinking of sharing with you. Was significant amount of savings and financial success can be made by repeatedly earning, consistently creating income, more than looking for a lottery, fishing for that multi-bagger, as they say in investment. Having repetitive earnings coming through to us is far more valuable to us than having sudden multi-bagger stock jumps. Because when you have this repetitive earnings coming into our bank account or into our financial portfolio, it reduces financial anxiety and promotes wiser investing decisions than trying to look for these sudden bursts in the market, as they say, market timing. Because if you're looking constantly for the market timing, when you do have those times when you miss the market timings, it leads to anxiety, and you start doubting the whole system because you're so busy gambling, and you take a broad brush and you paint everything when your gambles fail that the whole thing, institution, is a waste. That whole stock market, some of you have heard people say this, that whole stock market is just a gambling den. People are just making money by gambling, and it's all insider trading. People become very cynical, and we try to paint a broad brush on the whole thing, saying the whole thing's a waste. So to avoid doing that is to have, repetitive small earnings coming into your account. That will build you the confidence and give you the impetus to work on building a portfolio which is a wiser way of going around building it, and you'll have more confidence and it will reduce your anxiety. Another thing which I wanted to hit upon was online monetization. A lot of us think that YouTube online monetization seems to be a wonderful way to make side income, as they say, side hustle, or even as your main business line. You've started a new venture, so you've started a channel and you think you can earn a lot of money through ads running on your channels, and YouTube is going to pay you a lot of money. This I can tell you from experience. There's far more greater potential if you're a business person to work on indirect ways of monetization. That is to do collaborations, to meet people through your let's say you're doing something like interior decorating as your channel. You're far more profitable it will be for you to bring in businesses through your channel, where people seeing your videos and calling upon you and meeting them offline and doing work with them, than YouTube monetization. I know it's been sold to this YouTube monetization is a great way, but through experience I can tell you offline monetization and collaborations can provide equal financial benefits if you think about it and if you analyze it. And always try to learn most complicated topics such as economics or macroeconomics, microeconomics by simplifying it. There are lots of tools nowadays thanks to AI. It's all available for everybody. It's free. Most of it is free. So I would suggest more of you try and learn things by simplifying it, and not try to understand complex things by going on head on to it. It will brain taxing, mind taxing, and you will give up. So I would suggest that you try and work with simplifying concepts and trying to understand them in smaller packets. I found this to be useful over the years. That's another thing I wanted to share with you. Don't try to swallow things which are too big. You'll end up getting choked with it and your brain can freeze. Rather than take small bites and consume in small quantities over a long period of time, you'll be able to digest that information and it'll serve you better. So a lot of you keep reaching out to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter saying, explain this to me, explain that to me. And most of the time I tell you guys, slow it down. Find out why, what is the motivation behind knowing this. We have this tendency in society nowadays because of the way we are set up with quick information, wanting information quickly given to us, that even without knowing why we are asking something, just because our brain is triggering something, we heard something, we want to just ask, or we want to just invest in something. So I would suggest that you slow it down and try to find out what is your motivation. And this could be far better for you, and it can help you understand why people are saying what they're saying. Networking is always looked upon as something wonderful to do if you're in business, if you're in, even if you're employed somewhere, to look for future job prospects like LinkedIn. And traditional in-person networking is frowned upon nowadays, thinking it's a waste, and it can feel very inauthentic to go meet people and shake people's hands. I would say otherwise, through experience of doing events with Anand and running around with him, it still has a lot of value. Meeting people face to face and shaking hands, having that human connect is far more effective and valuable compared to online transactions. Yes, you can't meet everybody around the world, which online does leverage and give you. But if you do have opportunities to go and meet people, do meet them. Even if you're employed and looking for a new job, every opportunity to get and attend an interview, I would suggest that you do attend the interview. It'll keep your social skills alive. It'll keep you to understand what is happening in the market, how people are interviewing, what is happening, what are the kind of questions that I've asked, how is the industry moving. Because all of us tend to live in our silos, especially when we're working for long years. When we're in a specific job, we've been there for a couple of years, we forget what it is to be outside that silo. So I would suggest try and now and then, when you do get an opportunity to do in-person networking, to meet people face-to-face, especially professionally, take it up. Attend conferences, attend meetings, and do this. Not only in a social circle, personal circle, but even in professional circles. Another thing which I thought I should share with you is this whole idea of pension. We have always been told since childhood, pension, retirement, safety net, that PPF and all these other things. It's a good safety net. But if anything which I've learned from Anand over the years is all this LIC and this government pension funds all seems to be a bit of a scam. They all seem to be finally diving in the market and investing in market. So instead of relying on some government to provide you a safety net, I think all of us should learn to provide our own safety nets and start building our own portfolios and our own strengths by investing in the stock market directly instead of going through the pension fund, through the government fund. And you will understand why I'm saying this when you see today evening video about why government are not reliable and even our banks are not so reliable. And another thing which I wanted to share with you was this whole idea of AI, and everyone's worried about AI and how AI is going to destroy everything and how ChatGPT is going to make life miserable for all of us. I don't think so. I think all of us, especially most of my viewers, are young enough and resilient enough to use ChatGPT or any AI tool which is available now, like a calculator. It is there to streamline your processes, reduce your cost, and change the traditional way of incurring knowledge. And it is a great tool for everybody and anybody, to use. I think all of us, I strongly encourage, AI is here to stay. It's not going to go away. As they say, the genie is out of the bottle. So instead of fighting it, I would suggest all of us should embrace it, and I encourage all of you to use it. And with this, I'd like to conclude on something which is our traditional savings, how youngsters are told to save money, and traditional opportunities of saving money are quickly vanishing. So if you're young, below the age of 35 or below, I would like you to revisit this whole notion of savings. How savings is what we've been told in school and childhood by our parents and grandparents has changed vastly. To educate yourselves and to make sure whatever you're doing as savings, that you're always beating inflation. If your savings is not beating inflation, you're not saving. So I want you to, if this video, anything you take away from this video should be this, that your savings should always be beating inflation. Recognize opportunities, understand the changing financial landscapes, and value your experiences. All that is true. But at the end of the day, we want to gain our freedom when we reach the age when we want to put up our feet and relax a little bit. That we did enough running the marathon and we want to rest. At that point in time, your savings should be at least intact. If it's not growing, you should not be lost out to inflation. So that is something I want you to work on. So these are some of the 10 things which I thought of, which I wanted to share with you today. On a Sunday morning, as you're getting into your day of preparing for Monday and the week ahead, keep these things in mind as you work through your week. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and I'll see you on the next one tomorrow on Monday. Bye.